So let me just write some notes here for number of shares. We can get the number of shares by taking the 2 million and dividing it by the par value. So when you do that, you get 40,000 shares of preferred for Plan 2. So for Plan 1, how many dividends does Plan 1 get? Well, they don't have any preferred stock, so dividends on preferred stock would be 0. For Plan 2, we will calculate that by taking the number of shares, which we determined was 40,000, and times that by your percent, which is 9%, and times that by your par value, which is 50. And so the dividends on preferred for Plan 2 would be 180,000. For Plan 3, we will have to figure out how many shares we have, the number of shares. So we would do your number of shares. To calculate that, it's going to be equal to 1 million divided by your par value, which is 50. So let's do that. And you will get 20,000 shares of preferred for Plan 3. So now we can calculate the dividends by taking the number of shares we just calculated, 20,000, times your percent, which is still 9%, times your par, which is 50. So here the dollar amount of preferred dividends would be $90,000 for Plan 3. Okay, now we need to calculate available for dividends on common stock, and what this means is net income available for dividends on common stock. Let me fix this. So the way we will calculate that is we will take your net income, subtract out your dividends on preferred, and this is the net income available for common stock. So now we have our net income available on common stock. And this is the numerator for our earnings per share calculation. We took net income and we subtracted out the preferred dividends. Now we need to get the shares of common stock outstanding. To get this number, what you're going to do is you're going to take, just like we found the number of shares of preferred for each, we're going to take the dollar amount of the common stock and divide it by the $10 par. So 4 million divided by 10, and then $2 million of stock divided by 10 par. And that's going to give me my shares of common stock for each plan. 1 million divided by 10. Okay, so now I have the shares of common stock outstanding. Okay, so now we're ready to calculate our earnings per share, which is our net income minus our preferred dividends, which is this number, divided by our shares of common stock outstanding. So 480,000 divided by 400,000. 300,000 divided by 20,000, or divided by 200,000. 246,000 divided by 100,000. And now you can see the earnings per share rounded to the nearest cent here. So which plan has the highest earnings per share? Plan 3 has the highest earnings per share, $2.46 per share of common stock. Okay, let's change some numbers and see how it would affect earnings per share. Let's look at earnings before interest and income tax, and let's change that 800,000 to 440,000 and see what happens. So now I get 66 cents per share, 42 cents per share, and 30 cents per share. So now which plan has the highest earnings per share? Plan 1 does. So anytime you change a variable, it's going to change the end result. So if you make a spreadsheet with your formulas, then you can go in there and try different scenarios and help a company decide which way is the best to raise capital.